I don't like the judgmental part. We see people, we judge them based off of what they look like or what we might know about them, rather than, being homeless is a situational thing. So it doesn't have to be. When resources are pooled and things come together, a homeless individual is no longer homeless. So why are we just judging that situation? See a person for a person. Let's start treating people like people.
I believe everyone is only a few steps or a few life happenings away from this being their possibility.
I had what maybe some would consider a very good Beaver Cleaver life in terms of I had 4 children, a lovely wife, great home, and a very lucrative job. And in a very short period of time, even though you can maybe see it happening, within a few months I had lost my family, home, and employment. And you're left with a complete shock. It's something no one, I think, ever prepares for. And in fact, as you look back in retrospect, now I can see how it happened. But at the time, everything is just a blur and it's happening. And then you live with the, I don't want to use the word stigma, but the emotional feelings that come with, now I'm homeless, now I don't have anywhere to go. And that beats down on how you feel about yourself. Now I had a very good social network of good friends and family, but I can't speak for others, but I sometimes looked at things where I wanted to alienate myself from them due to the embarrassment, shame, guilt, everything that comes with it. You're kind of in what we would call a survival mode. You're living day to day to make sure you're taking care of what you think you can take care of. And it's hard to look at the big picture of things. And that's where a facility like St. John's can help you do that. Because at the time when you're on your own, it's scary. You've got to build a tough exterior. And you don't think of, you think of basically survival. How will I get through each and every day? And then somehow pick myself up.
I got introduced to heroin at the age of 15. I was still a virgin. I was a kid. Some of my friends offered me, "You want some of this?" And I was like, "Yeah, bring it on." I did it before. What happened was I got addicted right away from the very first time. Most of my money was going to the drug. And with heroin, it's a type of drug that you need it daily. It's not like it's one of them. It's not like every other drug. Every other drug you could do it occasionally. Heroin, when you need it like a cup of coffee, you need it early in the morning before you go to work. So most of your money is gonna go in that to be able to go to work, and that's when you lack on paying the rent, paying other bills, and that's how I became homeless. Staying sober and being homeless is like the hardest thing, because staying sober you gotta think more. You're clear-headed. You're aware of everything that you're doing. When you're on alcohol or drugs, marijuana, whatever, you're a little bit numb, so you don't feel the pain.
I was a painter most of my life. Yeah. I've got 4 children, I'm divorced. Just live life like everybody else. At the same time, my nephew had come to live with me, and he was severely addicted to Adderall and narcotics. I didn't realize how bad off he really was until he made a couple of bad decisions with me, and I made him leave. About a week after he left, he died, or he OD'd. And that was hard for me. I wish that wouldn't have happened. But, and then, I don't know. I went through the funeral thing and all that, and tried to go back to work. And one day I ran into a couple of girls at a bar about 7 o'clock in the morning. I wound up drinking with them all day and wound up getting a drunk driving ticket. And then I lost everything, just like that. Everything was gone. So when I got out of jail, there was nothing to go back to. And I was homeless ever since, basically. Homeless is homeless. You don't shower every day. You don't sleep the same way every night. You don't have a place to go after work, if you work. You can't keep a job when you're homeless too long, because you're dirty. Okay? That's all there is to it. You can only go to your friends and family for so long.
I am a single mother of 2 children. I did have a lot of friends through the years that I did stay at, but it was only enough to pay for them, and then they'd be like, okay, you gotta go after the money's gone or the food stamps are gone. If I didn't have an actual place to go, I would stay in a park and be in the actual slide. At least I have cover. Bring my blankets and stuff like that, sleep in the slide. I did that for a good 2 months. I had nowhere to go, so I just went to the Micah Center one day.
I went on the streets from the time I was 7 until now, and I'm trying to get off of them. I'm getting tired of them. It's time to say it's time to stop, basically. It's time to quit. I felt like ending myself I don't know how many times, but couldn't pull that trigger or couldn't do it right. First went into St. John's, I was scared, yeah, nothing to lie, yeah, because, different people, meeting different strangers, seeing the same thing over on the streets, but yet see them inside and trying to calm them down from being out there to coming inside. It's got to be different. You got to remember, them people are giving you a place to stay. They don't need to give you anything. They can put you right back out there and say, that's where your ass belongs, excuse my language, but that's where they belong. If you don't want to deal with our rules, you can go right back out there. But these people are trying to help you. If you don't want that help, stay outside.
We are an emergency shelter of last resort. So when a guest comes to our door, they have exhausted every other possibility. There are no more family or friends to go to. There are no other social service options out there that will give them a place to sleep. There are no other shelters that they are available for.
Not always an addiction that brought them to us. Sometimes, life takes its toll on you to where you have nothing left and you end up on the street. And you eventually have to find somewhere to stay. So you come to the shelter to try and find a balance of getting back on your feet with just a warm bed, a nice meal.
So somebody coming into St. John's, what we really get to see is the transformation on their journey in the course of sometimes just 30 days. But we get to see somebody come in broken and leave hopefully filled with hope for their future.
I see what could be my children there. And to hear their stories, a lot of them that just didn't come from the same kind of background, that didn't come from families that were intact, or didn't come from families where they didn't need to worry about what the next meal was going to be. Or maybe there were alcoholism issues that they grew up with at home. Maybe their dad was giving them beer at 7 and 9 years old, or they didn't regularly attend school. No one thought that was important for them to continue to be doing that kind of thing. Or there were mental health issues out there. I have a draw to wanting to listen to those stories and just wanting to be a resource there to help, to answer questions, to direct them to case management, to other people that we have in the shelter that are able to help them move forward more.
Often people will think the problem is so big that one individual can't make a difference. And then they walk away from it completely because they think they can't solve the entire issue. And I would challenge each person to play their role in getting involved and making a difference, because each phone call, each donation has an impact on our ability to provide care for a homeless brother or sister. So they can head to the website and make a donation online. They can pick up the phone and call. And they can certainly stop down, ask for a tour, grab dinner, hear what we're about, meet our guests, hear the stories, and then look for ways to make a difference, because by making a difference in the life of one, you're going to make a difference in the community as a whole.